Damn it. They're onto us again. It's not the best time, is it?
I'm on it. 2 seconds.
Okay, we're close, Initiate. Arno and Germain had some kind of confrontation within the next few months, but we don't know where or how it ended. We're counting on you to find out.
Got it. The portal's open.
If all goes well, this is your last forced migration.
Yeah, and if it doesn't go so well, you could go into hippocampal shock and take your meals through an IV for the rest of your life.
Let's not dwell on that, shall we? This might look familiar to you. We're back in medieval Paris, late 14th century. You're outside the city walls now. I suggest you find your way back. Is falling apart. Find the exit, fast. You're nearly there. Follow my voice. Get to the exit, quickly! Okay, Initiate, let's finish this. You're almost home.
Things have changed a great deal since you left Paris.
A great deal to be set right.
And we're no closer to finding Germain.
That's not entirely true. I have a name.
Who?
Robespierre.
You're holding out on me. It's your
What's all this?
Robespierre. He's declared today a festival of the Supreme Being. A paean to the virtue of the nation and the citizens' duty toward it.
Why does that sound familiar?
As far as Templar doctrine goes, it's a loose interpretation.
We'll never get close to him in the middle of all this. We'd best retire and wait for a better opportunity.
Still thinking like an assassin. This time, I have the plan.
Oh? And what would that be?
Think like a Templar.
Amazing! Thought we were supposed to be rationalists now. What's he thinking?
Vive Robespierre! Bravo!
Vive la liberté!
The Supreme Being ain't called for Robespierre. I'll eat my hat.
Ridiculous pomp and
circumstance.
What now?
Robespierre is unassailable. He's got half the guard out in force. We'll never get within 10 yards of him.
Just what I said.
But he's not as popular as he was. The Purgers, the Supreme Being cult. If we can discredit him, he's finished.
Massive public spectacle is the perfect venue.
Exactly. Paint him as a dangerous lunatic and his power will evaporate like snow in April. But we'll need some convincing evidence.
I have an idea where to start. You coming?
Meet me after. I have my own arrangements to make.
Supreme Being has finally arrived. Never was just here a minute ago. Hey, what was that? I'll make you pay!
Let's see. Incriminating evidence. Incriminating evidence. Looks like a diary.
At exactly 5 in the morning, a general recall shall be sounded in Paris. This call shall invite every citizen, men and women alike, to immediately adorn their houses with the beloved colors of...
Maybe something a bit stronger.
And for all people. He did not create kings to devour the human species. Neither did he create priests to harness us like brute beasts.
Merlin, Talien, Bourdon. These are all deputies of the National Convention. Lists of political figures written in the hand of a man fond of sending his rivals to the guillotine. Yes, these should do nicely.
The author of nature links all mortals together in an immense chain of love and happiness. The tyrants who have dared to break it. Princes, republicans, cleanse the earth they have sullied, and to restore the justice they have banished from it. Liberty and virtue issue together from the best of the supreme being.
Well?
A list of names. 50 or so deputies of the National Convention, all written in Robespierre's hand and all opposed to him.
I imagine those good gentlemen would be quite interested to know they're on that list. But first... Monsieur Robespierre brought his own refreshments. Distract the guards. I have an idea.
Distract the guards. Right.
Armed into a fanaticism and the poison of atheism. They can no more tear the world from... Armed into the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism. They can no more tear the world from... Armed in turn with the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism. People fear no more their people fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracy.
Vous préparez un mauvais coup?
Fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracies. They can no more tear the world from...
Who's done this?
It is wisdom Above all, that our guilty enemies want to drive from the Republic. We must be generous. Compassionate for the unfortunate. And
Tout en manière quelque chose.
Powdered agate. Causes hallucinations. This will make him look mad. Now we have to make him look dangerous.
The list of names.
It must fall into the right hands, anonymously. If our involvement gets out, it'll tip Germain off.
Leave that part to me.
he has returned to nothingness. The spirit of kings has spewed forth from the ground.
Robespierre natters on about freedom and mercy, while thousands go to the
Here with him.
done somewhere like to see us, you would choke.
Than the remorse from their own hearts. You who are wretched, hold up your woeful heads. You can again raise your eyes to the sky with impunity. Heroes! Your generous devotion is not a brilliant folly. The minions of tyranny may be able to assassinate you, but it is not in their power to annihilate you. Man, whoever you are.
You think you can outrun me? I'll find you. See if I don't! Stand and join up! You can't escape! It's time to die, Cobb! Bloody shit!
Without obstacles, or on anything that depends upon the fortune or perversity of another. Let us be ardent and obstinate in our anger against imperturbable in the heat of danger, patient in our work, terrible during success, modest and vigilant in success. Let us be generous for those
Conduct
who are
unbecoming. Me? Who the hell does Robespierre think he is?
inexorable
What is it, sir?
toward the wicked, just toward everyone. People, fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracies. They can no more tear the world from the breast of its author than the remorse from their own hearts. Let nature thus regain all its majesty, and wisdom all its empire. The supreme being is not...
Si vous espériez passer inaperçu, c'est raté.
Look at that strutting puppet.
That should set things in motion.
It is wisdom, above all, that our guilty enemies want to drive from the Republic. To wisdom alone does it belong to consolidate the prosperity of empire.
Being a list of enemies of the revolution. 500 names here.
Robespierre's gone too far this time.
That set the fox in the hen house.
Pity the hens. Now what?
We wait. It won't take long. Once Robespierre has lost the support of the people, he'll be no more use to Germain. And when Germain abandons him...
He's vulnerable. Let's go. Your message. What's going on?
We may have gone too far in discrediting Robespierre.
What's happened?
He's been arrested.
What?
Apparently, he made vague threats about a purge against enemies of the state, and the committee turned on him. They're taking him to Luxembourg prison. He's scheduled for execution in the morning.
Then we'd best get to him
Down with
first.
the tyrant Robespierre!
Down to the enemies of freedom!
What? What in the hell?
These men were National Guard. Robespierre's escort. Damn, if we've lost him.
Let's not panic just yet. We might be able to find some sign of what happened. Elise! What happened here?
We were ambushed. Troops from the Paris Commune attacked us en route. They were trying to free the prisoners.
Did they take Robespierre?
I'm not sure. The fighting left me behind. They fell back, that way.
Merci. Go find yourself a doctor.
Oh.
If he's still in custody, they'll have taken him to Luxembourg prison.
But if not, they'll need to hole up somewhere nearby. They won't get very far with half the city turned out against Robespierre.
I'll check the prison. You follow the riot, see if you can pick up a trail.
Right. Where did they go?
They went that way.
Robespierre.
Down there!
Murderer! Tyrant!
Remember Danton!
Run, sir! We'll hold this lot until reinforcements.
You won't escape!
We cannot abide here! Soldiers on duty! Yeah, you got something to say? Remember that you
Stand for Robespierre!
You're not a true tactic! Come on!
Thank God you made it, sir. The Commune stands with you.
Thank you, Sergeant. Your loyalty does you credit.
Best get inside, sir. The convention soldiers will be here soon.
Yes, of course. I place myself in your capable hands. By dint of its actions, protecting the criminal Robespierre is now an open soldiers under the command of the National Convention have been dispatched to apprehend the traitor Robespierre and his followers. Citizens are advised to remain in their homes while justice is carried out. Be it further known that Citizen Robespierre, Citizen Henriot, and all of their allies are declared outlaws. Any citizen found to be aiding these criminals will share their fate upon the guillotine. Revolutionary justice shall prevail.
you! Held you! Bloody pig sitter!
We'll never hold this place if the convention attacks.
Try to ditch me, corpse! I'll have you dead in your You'll slip!
5 more we'll sing at last, mister. At this rate, you won't have to fire a shot.
You're mine! I'll whip out that nasty murderer son! I've got you!
Take him in the back.
There you are! You're tired, keep on!
Damn traitor. Can't wait to spill every last yard.
Damn him. I sent for Zerma hours ago. Zerma warned me about you. You're one of them, aren't you? An assassin.
Not anymore. Where's Germain? Elise.
We don't have much time. Where is Germain?
I will never talk.
Then right. The temple. I should have known. I hope you enjoy revolutionary justice, monsieur.
Seize him!
We should split up.
I'm not sure that's...
Less chance we both get caught that way.
I suppose that's true.
We'll rendezvous inside. If you get a shot at Germain, you take it.
Germain's built himself quite a fortress. I can't see any weak spots. was that?
So the prodigal assassin returns. I suspected as much when Latouche, the direct approach from an assassin. How refreshing. I suspected as much. A waste of my time. Skulk all you like. It makes no difference.
How? What?
Not here! Hey, you! Stay there a moment!